Today's episode is all about how I went from this to this. A much more than 30 days of stretching. In fact, I've been training for the middle split since June 2021, when this channel was just but a baby. And I lived in a tiny, overpriced apartment in the big city with a very high energy Siberian Husky puppy. I don't live there anymore, but the dog is still very high energy though. Back then, I honestly thought this would be an easy skill to learn. Just do some leg swings, a horse stance for a bit, and you squeeze that muscles tight. But it came as a surprise to absolutely no one when after 30 days I wasn't anywhere near Jean-Claude Van Damme. For real though, he lives like in California or something. Now the problem wasn't that the information I was getting was wrong, it was just that the full picture was a hard to find puzzle mystery. And along the way I made every mistake possible, my friend, so that you don't have to. Every time you see me spreading my hips wide in this video, just know that it was all for you. So let's talk about position. I knew from the research I did beforehand that I should place my hips forward and rotate the legs out. If you try to just slide your legs sideways without this alignment, your pelvic bone and your femur will eventually rub against each other as you go down and they will jam. So what really creates enough space to stretch further is by pushing your butt back and dropping your hips down and forward. Not a very flattering position to be in, unless you have a butt like mine, of course. As for the feet, I chose a diagonal angle with the knees pointing upwards, as that was the most comfortable position for me. For the actual middle splits training itself, I was supposed to do something called proprioceptive neuromuscular facilitation, the famous PNF. This is a stretching method in which you flex those leg muscles for a couple of seconds so you can go deeper. Then you relax and repeat this cycle of stress and relaxation, then stress again, then relaxation again. So when going to my limit, I had to keep my muscles consciously activated if I wanted to go a little beyond each session. And although I made some gains by doing so, eventually, of course, I hit a big plateau. I thought maybe this was a genetic thing, maybe my body just wasn't built to go that far. And in the meanwhile, I was moving between different cities. I lost people in my life and I was trying to make these videos while also working to pay the bills. I was so stressed and in a hurry, I started doing some really dangerous stuff with my splits training, like leaning so much forward it looked like I was about to transform into an airplane, or thinking I always needed a slippery floor in every session to help me go further. Sometimes I went too far and injured myself. Other times, when I wasn't seeing results, I forced myself to train twice a day every day, and then I would get fed up with it and spend weeks without a single stretching session. My motivation really went downhill, like there's so much discomfort involved and life that of course kept getting in the way. My dog got lost in the forest, I had to go for a difficult breakup, the fridge broke, I had a snake problem, my neighbors couldn't stop fighting in the middle of the night and I couldn't sleep. Nobody sees the struggles and the problems you have to overcome every day. But even when I was all over the place, even in my lowest, most lonely days, I never completely stopped the training. Eventually I decided that even if it was gonna take me years to do the splits, so be it. Seeing people getting crazy fast results can be more demotivating than anything else anyway. Mistakes and experimentation are always part of any learning process. And that takes time, my friend, so that we can keep pushing forward and, down as well. So I kept training, and most importantly, I kept researching. I came to realize that the middle splits are mainly an adductor stretch, and my adductors are as weak as they come. So it wouldn't matter if I had the proper position, nor that for months on end I was determined to push down and flex my muscles with the PNF method. If I didn't have enough control and activation with my adductor muscles, I simply wouldn't be able to achieve the middle splits. So I was lacking the most important piece of the puzzle, that being strength training. And now, after 8 months into the training, I had a new direction to follow through. So I pulled that chest high and placed that butt back. And I introduced new adductor exercises, like the straight leg get-ups, and the side weight squats, the weighted 7-step horse stance, and the pancake stretches that honestly felt kinda good. And finally I started making gains again. I stuck to only twice a week hard sessions with conditioning exercises and isometric holds. And as the sessions went by, the closer to the finish line I got, and the harder it became. Finally, by 12 months in, It is just crazy how much changes happen in a whole year. I'm not even the same person anymore. Still, there's this continuity within yourself, that when it wants something badly, it does not stop until it gets there. It's comforting to know that we will always have that power within ourselves as long as we live. Also, comment below, what are you gonna achieve in the next year? That's it, Skillers. Until the next adventure.